ladies and gentlemen, a special good evening to you. Viewers of Real Talk, local, regional, and international. Remember, viewers, to share our Facebook page, Real Talk with Saieed Ali on Facebook, TT Real Talk, YouTube. Like and share, viewers, as we go live. Remember, you can reach your friends and family, send them the link, let them know Saieed is going live on Facebook and YouTube. So as we start up our program tonight, viewers, just a little update for you. 3 fire officers, Andy Hutchinson, has welcomed the handing over of 6 fire tenders today, calling it a milestone for national safety and expressing hope that their period of exile has come to an end. Listen to this, viewers.
As we convene at the Pinal Fire Station, we are not merely acknowledging the arrival of state-of-the-art vehicles. We are also recognizing our government's commitment to ensuring the safety and well-being of our communities. Honorable Prime Minister, your dedication to enhancing public safety and advancing the capabilities of the fire service is evident in your support for the modernization of our resources. Each vehicle commissioned today represents a significant investment in our collective safety and a reaffirmation of your commitment to adequately equip those who courageously risk their lives to better society.
So Trinidad and Tobago, he said that for far too long, the Trinidad and Tobago Fire Service has been operating under resource constraint. But his officers remain committed throughout the last decade to serving all citizens. Listen to this.
For too long, our esteemed officers have been asked to perform their duties under the weight of resource constraints, training deficiencies, and insufficient PPE. Yet our commitment to the service of the people of this beautiful nation has never wavered. Today represents a milestone for national safety. Today, we officially welcome 6 new additions to our aged, weary, and unreliable fleet.
So Trinidad and Tobago, he also asked for updated equipment and PPE for fire officers as well as upgraded infrastructure. Well, we know in time to come, hopefully in the not too long distance future, we're going to have proper infrastructure in the fire service in Trinidad and Tobago. Hopefully, some of the building we're going to be refurbished, proper equipment. Let's just hope that we don't get some ladders that would cost $2 million and the firefighters wouldn't have to sue the government for damages while climbing the ladder. Remember, under the last administration, they bought some ladders, some wooden ladders for $2 million. And I believe later on that same year, some fire officer fell. I believe he sued the government. Yeah. For the faulty ladders or something like that. But nevertheless, viewers, Princestown need a fire station. Princestown need a fire station. The closest fire station to Princestown is Monrepo by the roundabout. And if a fire takes place, let's say in Rio Claro, which is the closest fire station? Grandi? Mayaro fire station, upgraded. So Trinidad and Tobago, let's just hope that this present administration is going to upgrade the fire service throughout Trinidad and Tobago. Because as Mr. Hutchinson said, the fire service has been experiencing lack of equipment. So let's hope that they can do something a little more better in the coming years, weeks, or months. That's all we can say for now, viewers. Hope is all we have to have right now. Another update for you, the Chief Justice Rani Buru Singh has stated that the appointment of 7 new judges to the Supreme Court is expected to significantly improve the availability of judicial response. The new judges received their instrument of appointment from President Christine Kangaloo at the President's House on Tuesday morning. With several judges due to retire in the coming months, the Chief Justice said the appointments are timely, necessary, and critical.
Need the help. We are retiring judges. We need to expand the capacity of the court to deal with cases. So the 7 judges who've been appointed today, along with 7 between January and February, that's 14 new judges in the past 3 months. So that will make a measurable mark on the availability of resources.
Also, viewers, the Chief Justice also noted that the newly appointed judges will be strategically placed across key divisions of the court system.
3 will go to the criminal division, 3 to the civil, and 1 to the children's court. The judges who were appointed in January, some went to criminal, a couple went to family court, and also to civil as well.
Buru Singh then added that the training and mentorship programs are in place to support the new judicial officers, ensuring a smooth transition into their roles.
Some of these judicial officers already were judicial officers before, so they're familiar with the judiciary. Some are new appointments from outside of the judiciary. So they will get into it as with everything else, and we have training, we have mentoring, we have support for the judges, new judges, and they are solid professionals, so they will make their mark.
So Trinidad and Tobago, the government is now pushing for a special meeting of CARICOM, heads of government, to challenge the reappointment of Dr. Carla Barnett as Secretary General, signaling that fresh elections are also firmly on the table. This after it was revealed by Minister of Foreign and CARICOM Affairs, Sean Sobers, that his country was deliberately disinvited from the voting process. The government of Trinidad and Tobago claims it was excluded from the decision-making process, aligning that the reappointment occurred without being on the official agenda. Viewers, take a listen.
And none of us were invited to attend the retreat. As a matter of fact, we were all disinvited. We were told that we were not able to attend, which is a breach of the treaty. It's there, plain and simple. And so for the Secretariat to disinvite us, that was extremely disrespectful.
So Trinidad and Tobago, what is that saying? What is that saying to us? Remember, there was a little rift when Kamala Prasad administration sided with the United States when they went into Venezuela and picked up Maduro. There was also a lot of back and forth with CARICOM neighbors, body and heads, saying that Kamala should apologize when she said, kill them violently. Remember the CARICOM heads, they didn't like that. So now I believe, I wonder if revenge is the correct word I should say, that they are doing their thing without inviting Trinidad and Tobago. If we were disinvited from a major thing such as picking a new leader, now I would say again, Trinidad and Tobago, we contribute to CARICOM significantly. We need CARICOM. I want you all to understand that. We need CARICOM in order to have trade, free trade. We need CARICOM. But again, it is all with the heads, the body. Trinidad and Tobago not being invited for the voting of a new leader is something very, very different, my friends. Many of us may say, you know what, that's okay. And then many of us would say, you know what, this is an issue because we contribute to CARICOM. And if we are part of CARICOM, why are we not being invited to that voting? Why are we not being invited to that process, to that selection, to that table, to that meeting? Why are we not there? So now, I would say, this would lead me to say that CARICOM is doing their own thing now without the support of Trinidad and Tobago because of the fact that Kamala Prasad, Mr. said, kill them violently. What she said with the US. And also having the radar in Tobago, troops in Trinidad and Tobago, assisting the US in taking Maduro. We played a role. But are we going to benefit long term? What is the next step? What is Sean Sober's next step? Now, on Monday, Prime Minister Kamala Prasad Bisesa declared that she will ruthlessly pursue the matter. Sobers said, this underscores what Prime Minister has been saying, that CARICOM is not being run optimally and efficiently, neither professionally. Asking, what comes next? Sobers said, TNT will this week formally request a meeting of CARICOM's Community Council, the body comprising all foreign affairs ministers across the region. Listen to this, viewers.
We need to have the heads to discuss this matter and decide or determine the way forward, which could be suggested. Has to be the conference that will deal with either the reappointment or the election of a new Secretary General.
The government has no issue with Dr. Carla Barnett personally, but rather with procedures that was followed. Trinidad and Tobago, they have no problem with Carla being appointed or reappointed, but is the process. Did they follow the right procedure? That is what they are saying. So now I wonder if they are saying this because of the fact that they were not invited. You know what? I would really like to know why they were not invited. We would really like to know that. Was it because of TNT aligning with the US? Or is it because Kamala Prasad Bisesa said, kill them violently? What caused the rift between CARICOM and Trinidad and Tobago? So I would really like to hear what some of those leaders in CARICOM has to say. Now that they are aware that Trinidad and Tobago were not invited, I would really like to hear what some of those leaders and members and the bodies and the council has to say now that Trinidad and Tobago is not invited. I would really like to hear what some of them has to say. Especially the newly elected. Well, not newly, but reappointed. I would really love to hear what she has to say. Viewers, we are going for a short commercial break. Stay locked on. When we come back, you're going to hear Rowley shocked by SOE. When he was in power, he wasn't shocked, you know. He waits till he resigned to be shocked. They say the more you live is the more you learn. More when we come back.
We'll be right back.
Throws you a curveball, and you need a clear path forward. Trust Real Talk Wrecking Service to get you back on track. Whether you're stuck on the roadside or dealing with an unexpected breakdown, our 24/7 wrecking service is just one call away. Fast response, reliable towing, and a team that's got your back. At Real Talk Wrecking Service, we don't just tow, we rescue. Real Talk Wrecking Service, your lifeline on the road to recovery.
Welcome to Real Talk Financing and Investment, a place where your loans are guaranteed and you're rewarded with up to 5% upfront interest on your deposit. Why wait when you can invest with us today and reap the benefits? Speak with a representative at our central branch at 238-6716, 231-6219, or 339-1670, or our south branch at 242-9944, 241-0543, or 339-1670. Real Talk Financing and Investment. Investment company just for you. For you. For you.
At Real Talk Studios, we dedicate our time to highlight the blaring issues we face within our community. Catch us live every Wednesday between 7 to 8 p.m. Real Public Concern. Because your concerns are meant to be heard. Send your email to realpublicconcerns@gmail.com.
Connect with us on social media and don't miss the latest updates. Follow us on Instagram at RealTalk_Newsroom. Check us out on Facebook at Real Talk with Saieed Ali. Subscribe to us on YouTube at Real Talk Trinidad and TikTok at Real Talk with Saieed Ali.
Welcome back.
So Trinidad and Tobago, welcome back. Remember, viewers, Real Talk Financing is the only financial institution in Trinidad and Tobago that is offering you 5% on a fixed deposit. Remember that, viewers? Now, with this fixed deposit for 5 years, you are getting your interest up front, meaning you do not have to wait for 5 years to collect your interest. Remember that, viewers. Tell your friends, tell your family about this growth that is happening at Real Talk Financing. Also, viewers, very soon we will be in Panama, Real Talk Financing also in Panama. Hopefully by the beginning of June. By the end of May, we're going to get our last two, the final 2 licenses to operate in Panama. And hopefully from June, we're going to be opening across there. Maybe I'll supply you all with US currency, you never know. You never know, Trinidad and Tobago. But nevertheless, so viewers, we're going to Dr. Keith Rowley. Former Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley have stated that he continues to remain shocked by this government use of the state of emergency SOE as a crime fighting measure. He stated that under the PNM, the SOE was not extended. Listen to this.
And if you notice, we never went for an extension when that 3-month period came to an end. We had the state of emergency, we had no curfew, we didn't disturb people too much, and as soon as that ended, we ended it, and we came out of government, not having a state of emergency continuing.
The former Prime Minister also noted that he continued to be shocked by the continued SOE under this administration. Listen to him.
To my shock, those who criticized us most severely and unreasonably, because basically it was another attempt to add another component to what we were doing. And we did say to the country that it was in response to specifics that the police had put the government to and asked us for that. And we gave the police that. And those opposition members wanted no part of that. And they criticized it, and they criticized me, and they had a crime plan. Well, we're going to an election. They had a crime plan.
Also, he said he remains surprised by the whole affairs facing the country. Imagine they say he's surprised. Dr. Keith Rowley, who was there for 9 years, he is surprised. So what exactly is he surprised about? Let's hear.
And the next thing I know, we went to a state of emergency a matter of weeks after. And then there was an extension on that. And that ended with all kinds of discussions and whatever you want to call it. And then you had individuals. We had a situation here where we had a state of emergency, and the reason being given was that a minister's life was threatened. And then this last one, I followed the debate. Again, I was surprised.
Caller, good night.
Good night, Mr. Said. Great program as usual and great topic.
Thank you, my friend.
The CARICOM issue.
Yes.
And we discussed this. Me and my group, we discussed this in detail. And the end result is the Prime Minister of this country, who is not in her right mind and has mental health issues, as the citizens say she's senile, she wants to go into CARICOM and head CARICOM. So she's bitter and angry. It come like you have a manager in your company, but he doing nothing good to see your company go forward, right? But you're expanding, you will make him the CEO? No. He's a destructive person. We can't have it there. So CARICOM is watching. And not only CARICOM, they are the head, the people of CARICOM, the citizens of this country are watching. The citizens of this country employed a lady to better our life. You know what she did? Not one single thing to better the lives of the citizens of this country, but use her office and position to inflict pain and suffering on the citizens, the people who employed her and put her there. In this country, I go hire she, I want she around me, and we operating like a team. CARICOM is a team. You violate us, violate this, the organization, the rules of the organization, go on behind we back and sell your soul for Judas. Judas give you a pen, you start to jump up. You would have destroyed CARICOM. And CARICOM is smart. So all those people are wrong, and in this country who don't understand CARICOM, they did the right thing. Should have destroyed CARICOM, just as a great partner in America want to destroy the world. You see what happened with NATO and the city of this country who said, oh, Kamala, and they look what they do, Kamala, what they do, Kamala. Look at what happened with NATO. He invaded Iran and killed thousands, hundreds of children. NATO said, we don't want to have no part in that. When they get in trouble now, he want NATO. NATO said, you didn't tell us you're going to do this. You didn't inform us, and we are NATO, and you leave us out. It's the same thing happened with Kamala. So Kamala, your sins come back to haunt you. And citizens of this country, Mr. Said, you're a spiritual man. When you commit sin and people can't fight back, they say the Lord will take care of you. So Kamala, you hush your mouth and sober, hush your mouth and stay quiet. Kamala is paying for her wrongdoings and sin that she committed against human beings in this country, the citizens. She leaves citizens children without food on the table. Some of them couldn't buy books to go to school because of the hooligans she have ticketing the citizens. As you come out, they ticket you for about $2,000. So Kamala, you will pay more. You have to suffer more for what the wrongdoings you did to your fellow citizens of this country. Mr. Said, keep up the great work you are doing. So I hope the citizens understand what I said here tonight and don't support her. God bless you. You are a great soul. Keep up the great work you are doing to make this world, this country and this world a better place, Mr. Said.
Thank you, my friend. So viewers, back to Rowley. Rowley also added that he sees no justification for the present SOE. He is now interested to know what was told to the president. Kid Rowley, one more time.
When you go to the president to ask for a state of emergency, because that is one of the powers that the 76th Constitution put with the president. The prime minister can't have it. You can ask for it. But when you ask for it, you have to give justification to the president. When I listened to the parliamentary debate, I saw nobody on the government side providing the justification for this state of emergency.
Dr. Keith Rowley said just now that the PNM never extended. They never extended the SOE. But I want you all to read on your screen. Yes, a state of emergency declared under the PNM, People's National Movement, the government of Trinidad and Tobago, was extended based on recent development in late 2024 and early 2025. Initial declaration, a state of emergency was announced by the PNM government on December 30th, 2024, following a surge in violent crime and intelligence regarding gang retaliation. Extension. Parliament approved extension of the SOE on January 13th, 2025, which extended the measures until April 13, 2025. So Trinidad and Tobago, sometimes we just have to listen. So play back the video where Keith Rowley said he never extended the SOE.
And if you notice, we never went for an extension when that 3-month period came to an end. And if you notice, we never went for an extension. And if you notice, we never went for an extension when that 3-month period came to an end.
So you see Trinidad and Tobago? Now, I just want to say, we had it echoed playing more than once that if you notice, we never had an extension. You notice that play more than once? We did that so you would understand. And in case you missed it the first time that you was opening your fridge, I'm sure when you close your fridge, you will hear him saying, and you notice we did not extend. So Trinidad and Tobago, sometimes we just have to understand. That's why I tell you, you see this program, we on top of our game, you know. And I had to thank my staff for that. I have to thank my staff for that. Even though I am here presenting the news to you, a talk that no other station would carry you through, I must thank my staff. But nevertheless, Trinidad and Tobago, under the PNM administration, it was never extended. But I showed you what Keith Rowley said to what was posted within 24 and the year 25. So now you know. Now you know. So if the UNC administration extended now, they choose that. So I would like to know now just how Keith Rowley, hold on. Here Keith Rowley, he is now interested to know what was told to the president. So now it leads me to say now, I want to know what Kid Rowley said to the president that caused the extension from December to January and from January to April. What caused? Dr. Kid Rowley, what did you told the president? Upsurging murder, upsurging gang related. What else? So there's a vice versa. Like PNM, like UNC. Or like UNC, like PNM. We're on top of our game in Trinidad and Tobago. That is why we would always remain the #1 current affairs program in this country. Because there is no other current affairs talk show like this. We bring it to you in a different way. That's why we are here, Real Talk. So viewers, we are going for a short commercial break. When we come back from this break, Gonzalez calls on government to end the state of charade. So why Gonzalez didn't tell Kid Rowley to end his charade when they extended it? Viewers, stay locked on. More when we come back.
We'll be right back.
Throws you a curveball, and you need a clear path forward. Trust Real Talk Wrecking Service to get you back on track. Whether you're stuck on the roadside or dealing with an unexpected breakdown, our 24/7 wrecking service is just one call away. Fast response, reliable towing, and a team that's got your back. At Real Talk Wrecking Service, we don't just tow, we rescue. Real Talk Wrecking Service, your lifeline on the road to recovery.
Welcome to Real Talk Financing and Investment, a place where your loans are guaranteed and you're rewarded with up to 5% upfront interest on your deposit. Why wait when you can invest with us today and reap the benefits? Speak with a representative at our central branch at 238-6716, 231-6219, or 339-1670, or our south branch at 242-9944, 241-0543, or 339-1670. Real Talk Financing and Investment. Investment company just for you. For you. For you. For you.
Connect with us on social media and don't miss the latest updates. Follow us on Instagram at RealTalk_Newsroom. Check us out on Facebook at Real Talk with Saieed Ali. Subscribe to us on YouTube at Real Talk Trinidad and TikTok at Real Talk with Saieed Ali.
At Real Talk Studios, we dedicate our time to highlight the blaring issues we face within our community. Catch us live every Wednesday between 7 to 8 p.m. Real Public Concern. Because your concerns are meant to be heard. Send your email to realpublicconcerns@gmail.com.
Welcome back.
So viewers, Member of Parliament for Aruca Lopino, Marvin Gonzalez, has called on the government to end the current state of emergency, arguing that it has failed to address rising crime and has instead left citizens living in fear. But you know what I love about Marvin? When this was happening under his administration, he had no problem with it. For 9 long years, he had no problem. Absolutely none. He described the worsening situation in communities, pointing to an increase in murder and emotional toll on families. Hear who's saying that now? Marvin. Listen to the Trinidad and Tobago.
Prime Minister, today I speak not just as a member of Parliament, but for all citizens across Trinidad and Tobago who are living in fear. Every day murders are rising, families are grieving, communities are under pressure, citizens are watching over their shoulders and wondering if they are next. Yet your government is holding on to a state of emergency that clearly is not working.
Now, Marvin, I want you to understand something. You cannot speak for all the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago. You can only speak for yourself. Why am I saying this? You were there for 5 years. You were once Minister of Security. Did you do anything to fix the problem? Did you do anything to eliminate the gangs, culture in Trinidad and Tobago? Did you do anything to stop the community from being fearful of individuals living in the community, of pests living in the community, of rapists living in the community, from prostitution taking place in the community, from car thief being done in the community? Did you lift up the community to trust the anti-police service again? Did you do anything, Marvin? Now you want to speak for all the citizens? No, brother, it do not work like that. You cannot go on a social media platform being a former minister who was a former minister of national security coming out to tell the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago who you once served as a sitting MP that you speak for all of them. I could speak for the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago. You know why? We depend on the Minister of National Security to come down on TTPS to make sure the country is safe. I could talk for the citizens, not you, Marvin. Not you at all, at all, at all. Now, Trinidad and Tobago, according to Gonzalez, the measure has granted the government sweeping powers without delivering the intended result. He maintained that despite these expanded power, fear continues to spread and communities remain vulnerable. Listen to Marvin one more time.
This state of emergency gives your administration more power than Zozo ever proposed. More detention powers and more restrictions and control. And still crime is out of control. Murders rising, fear spreading, communities remain vulnerable. So what exactly is happening here, Prime Minister? Because what we are seeing is not leadership. It is a government hiding behind power with nothing to show for it.
But Marvin, you were sitting down on the seat while the UNC were opposition. You extended the same powers. Your administration extended the same powers. Now, Gonzalez went on to question the government's approach, arguing that it reflects an absence of effectiveness and leadership, stressing that the emergency powers were never intended to replace structured crime fighting strategies. So when all I extended, what I was thinking about, Marvin, you see, do so and like so. You were there. You had the full 5 years or 9 years to fix it, and you did nothing. Your colleague Fitzgerald Hines actually did nothing. You all did nothing, absolutely nothing. The country ran amok with fear. Imagine that, eh? Now you on the opposite side, you want to come and talk about 11 months being in the opposition, you want to say this government here doing nothing? No, Trinidad and Tobago. Calling for immediate action, Gonzalez urged the government to end what he described as a state of emergency, charade, and to implement a comprehensive plan to tackle crime. He didn't have one, but he wanted the UNC to implement one. Listen to this.
Emergency powers were never meant to replace strategy, never meant to replace policing and security intelligence and community work. But that is exactly what this has become. Prime Minister, this is no longer about national security. Clearly, this is about your administration's political survival. And we the people, not blind. We understand what is taking place. And it is not adding up. So today, I say clearly, end this state of emergency charade. Bring a real crime plan. Give people real safety and stop the performance.
So viewers, he further asked if the SOE was put in place to suppress citizens or bloggers who criticize the government. Trying to listen to Marvin Gonzalez one more time.
Is this state of emergency meant to control and suppress and threaten bloggers, content creators who dare criticize your government? Is it meant to keep the public in line to avoid mass protests against an unpopular regime? Is it meant to avoid the rule of law, to lock up citizens without bail and without established constitutional protection? Is it meant to target opposition politicians and those who dare stand up and speak out? Prime Minister, the people of this country deserve answers.
So now while you are saying to keep up with the protests, I want you to remind yourself, Marvin Gonzalez, that when the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago protested in the savannah, they were tear gassed. I want you to remind yourself of that. Although they went out to be a peaceful protest, protesting for the right thing, they were tear gassed by TTP's riot squad. Imagine the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago going to keep a peaceful protest at Queen's Park, Savannah, and they were tear gassed by a riot squad. You know, when crime taking place in hotspot, only I want to bring out the riot squad, but citizens protesting for the right thing, riot squad coming. Riot squad coming in. It's such a stinking sad state of this country. And we have the PNM administration, together with the UNC administration, collecting big perks and big salary at the end of every 30 days. Every 30 days. And none of them actually did anything to better off 1.4 million people living in a square 2x2 Trinidad and Tobago. Millions and billions of dollars are being spent. The agriculture can't even grow properly. We cannot have a proper production system in this country to generate finance, to generate an income for citizens, for at least TNT Guasa to run smoothly. Even police, even TTPS, even the Coast Guard. Just imagine now, we have billions of dollars running through this country and those entities cannot be functional. You know why? Everybody only thinking about what they could put in their pocket. Just imagine, Saddam Hussein came out and read all the corruption that took place under PNM administration. All. Are we going to get back the alleged corrupted money that were extorted from the treasury? Are we going to get it back? Or is just a next bunch of people going there to see about themselves again? They started off on a campaign with one thing. When they got into power, let me tell you, Trinidad and Tobago, you know what it is to be going down the road telling people you have a cat in your hand. And everybody's seeing and listening to the cat. And when they vote for you and you turn around now, they see you holding a dog coming up the road. They forgot you told them about a cat. They're going down the road. Nice kitty, nice kitty. When they won, they let go of the cat, they pick up a dog, and they're coming up the road now. Two side tongue. Two side tongue, it's stinky. Hey, let me tell you something now. We get fooled in this country by the UNC and the PNM. And I'm saying that without an apology. I'm saying it without an apology on live national television. It's sad. It's stinking sad. This is one of the reasons why Trinidad and Tobago, I do ask people to fund this program. You know why? What I am saying might fall in the friend of a minister garden. Call good night.
Good night, Mr. Saieed.
Go right ahead, you're live.
Yes, Mr. Saieed, the former Prime Minister probably forgot that they had called another state of emergency because remember he was in Tobago party and when that happened, he was in Tobago setting and then his brother died and all of that. So he probably suffered some amnesia or something and then Stuart Young and Mr. Hines were the ones who called him while he was
who we don't hear about
intoxicated, so he probably forgot. So forgive him.
Thank you, my dear. thank you. You know who we don't hear about again? Fitzgerald Hines. Nida Dial Singh. Where is these individuals and them? Where is these individuals and them? You don't hear about them. We don't see them. And this was the representatives for communities throughout Trinidad. Imagine that, you don't hear about them again. They come into power and they out of power and look side still on the air. Are still on the air. You have a call? Imagine that, Imagine that. They come in power, they're going out of power, and we're still right here. We're right here giving the people them the truth, the whole truth, and nothing else but the truth. So that is why when I tell you I hold ministers accountable for their community, I ain't joking. Look, call him Bert. Bert, he had a water problem in his community and he was a minister of finance. So I asked him what he did for his community now. It's a stinking shame, It's a stinking shame. But they can't stop me. They can't. I will not allow them to. Because, I feel something tapping you in your shoulder and say, hey, what are you doing? Call good night.
Yes, I. Good night.
Go right ahead, my friend.
Yes, I. What going on, Marvin, right? Them like they forget they now come out of power.
Marvin forgot.
I don't understand. I don't understand what is going on here and the statements he making there. And let me tell you something. When Keith Rowley was the Prime Minister, you forget he called SOE and was calling it a public health emergency. You remember all that? People remember all that? Let me tell you something. You're saying that the UNC and the PNM is the same thing. I don't disagree with you, But the difference between the UNC and the PNM is that the UNC not taxing me on the property I work hard and build.
Correct.
And that I'm not generating an income from. And they not want to take away old age pension from pensioners and things. That is what the PNM was going to do with this wrong.
Yes.
So people that understand exactly what's going on. Marvin only coming out and talking. Who's the opposition leader, by the way? Who's the opposition leader?
Is it Marvin, Penny, or Keith Rowley?
And what's Stuart Young?
Well, he's hardly here about he too. Once in a way he can come up.
Well, let's see what I'm showing you. We even know who's the opposition leader in this country. And before I go outside, everybody protesting and everybody want everything now. Nobody is stopping to think and to realize and to understand that the PNM was there for 9.5 years.
And they got
They
nothing.
didn't settle no negotiations at all. Yeah? All they come to fight this government now for negotiations. I trying to figure out the logic behind this whole thing. You know?
Correct.
People that understand, brother, that understand. Anyhow, side, I don't want to take up too much of your time, brother. You enjoy your night.
Thank you, my friend. You see, some of the nurses, they forgot they got that in a biscuit. And they humbled themselves. When Keith Rowley said, wean off the government, Dr. Keith Rowley demonstrated what he meant by wean off the government. He demonstrated it to show you how to wean off the government. That's another biscuit and you're done with that. The other thing when I open a hospital, I believe it's Mount Hope Hospital, one of them blocked it, burned down, and he went and partly built over, and they rushed to open, and you couldn't put a hospital bed in it. Dr. Keith Rowley went to open the airport, and it wasn't even complete. So they ran to open an incomplete building. Where are they today? They're out of power. People don't want to hear about them. You know why? Because the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago are stupid. It took them an extra 5 years to realize what Dr. Keith Rowley said. An extra 5 years. But listen to this. Local manufacturers are maintaining the warning that Trinidad and Tobago ongoing foreign exchange shortage is placing serious pressure on businesses, affecting their ability to import raw material and maintain production. The Trinidad and Tobago Manufacturers Association have stated that the issue remains one of the biggest challenges in that sector. Newly appointed TTMA President Emily Kissoon noted that many manufacturers are now forced to carefully balance limited foreign exchange allocation while still trying to operate or keep operation running. Listen to this, Trinidad and Tobago.
Running a company back in the days was easier because we didn't have a foreign exchange crisis. Now we're in a foreign exchange crisis. You know, we have to pivot forward and retool. And as second and third generation, you know, you have to learn how to, balance cash flow, balance paying suppliers, how to use your money to pay raw materials, how to use the foreign exchange that you get from the Exim Bank. Well, that only goes straight to raw materials. Other than that, you don't get foreign exchange much from the bank. You get a little bit, and that goes into other services that you have to pay for, other bills that you have to pay for the companies.
So Trinidad and Tobago, that was Emile Kissoon. Now, Mr. Kissoon also stated that while Exim Bank provides some relief, the system still creates uncertainty for business with allocations are delayed or inconsistent. One more time.
The function and the policy of Exim Bank really and truly is to help companies get to that manufacturing stage and get back foreign exchange back into the country. And that is what the Ministry of Finance is really looking at, to restructuring Exim Bank. And I will agree on that. You know, get it back to that system. But currently the gaps in Exim Bank, because sometimes you get an allocation this month and then you have a 2-month gap. And, you know, it really puts a strain on our members.
So now Trinidad and Tobago, part of that problem, part of the Forex problem, Trinidad and Tobago, that we are seeing presently, is what caused me to open business, finance business in Panama. Panama City deals with US currency. More or less, let's say 95% of the people deal with US currency. So very soon, by June, we'll be there. We will be there. Structures are already in place. Paperwork is already in place. I just need 2 more licenses again. And by the second week in May, I'm going to get the second one. And by the end of May, I'm going to get the third one. So in June, Real Talk Financing will be in Panama. We're expanding. We're expanding. So when you're here, you want to make an investment, make it at Real Talk Financing. Because of our growth, we're spreading out. You see, the thing is, we now start. It's about 4 or 5 years now. Real Talk Financing is in the business. Real Talk Credit Union. And we have already spread it to 2 different countries. Guyana and now Panama. What is your interest rate on a fixed deposit in a commercial bank? Can it be that 5% interest upfront? It can't. It can't. Who is doing it? Real Talk Financing. Why? Because we care about the people. Because Saieed care about the people. You see, me growing up doing spirit work for people, I understand. I have listened to the people. I understand deeply what they are looking for. When you work hard, you want that little money you have, you want to see it grow. You want to see it multiply. You want to see it mean something to you. Here's the reason why we came up with interest up front on our fixed deposit. Interest up front. So you can actually enjoy the interest of your hard-earned cash that you have worked for. Are you getting that at any other financial institution? The answer is no. I could tell you that. I could tell you that. Because I come from a financial background. So viewers, we have come to the end of our program tonight. Look how time flies, and I feel like I'm not reached here. But nevertheless, a rerun of this program is tomorrow on Synergy from 11:30 to 12:30 p.m. We'll be right back here another night for another live show. Until then, be safe, Trinidad and Tobago.